Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Aether Universe Podcast. Today, we are talking about one of the most favorite characters of mine, Miss Tawnie Sims. Right after this.
Buckle up, hold on tight for a fiery episode of the Aether Universe Podcast. Right after the intro.
Always have to one-up me, love.
Welcome back to the Aether Universe Podcast, where everything Aether is on the table. Fun fact, where everything Aether is on the table, me saying that
makes you think of a card game?
Only came, well, that too, but it only became a thing because I was almost about to say where the elephant is always walking right after the title. That's the only reason why, and I had, like, in a split second, I had to come up with something and to throw in that little space, because I was literally like really about to say something about an elephant, and this ain't that podcast.
No.
This ain't that motivational self-development where I yell at you to get your shit together. That's a whole different show, literally, a different podcast on the same network. Ascension Podcast Network, ladies and gentlemen. Clap it up for us. Anyway, like Aly said, we are here to talk about one of the baddest assets characters of I said what I said. One of the baddest characters of the Aether Universe, and that is Tawnie Sims. So I'm gonna step to the side right now because I wrote the character in. So I'm going to allow Aly, the voice of the people, to tell you exactly why she loved Tawnie Sims so much.
Oh, I thought that we were just going to generate, like...
You're going to ask me some questions. I guess you got questions for me, but I want to know why you like Tawnie so much.
I just love that she's a strong, independent, like, character.
Right.
I don't like potentially, like, the things cupping up.
Stop. Don't say that. But you like. Stop. But you like.
I liked.
Why you being spoiler heavy right now? What's up with you?
This is why I'm not on podcasts like this usually. All right.
We gonna have to start that whole thing over. No, go ahead.
No, you can do it over.
I was joking. I don't feel like it.
You don't feel like it.
I don't feel like starting over. Go ahead. What do you like about Tawnie?
I just love that she's a strong, independent character and trying to do the best with what she can and trying to protect others in the best way that she knows how, with the way that she's a conspiracy theorist and she's trying to uncover all the baddies of the world. Right. And doing so in a way that just kind of calls people out, like, hey, I don't care if you know that I know.
Right. I think in the best way to describe Tawnie is, like, if you can think of an onion, but every layer was a different color. Like, she has layers, and each layer, like, the more you peel back, the more complex of a person she is.
Yeah.
So, like, I wanted, when I wrote her, I wanted a character that would go throughout the entire series as a staple piece that everybody was confused about. Mm-hmm. And I think I, like, for the most part, I think I captured that with Tawnie. And the funny thing is that when I first started writing the Arcane and Calamity series, Tawnie wasn't even the character that was supposed to be that staple character to go through the entire thing. It was supposed to be Milo.
Yeah.
Milo is there throughout the entire thing. Milo actually shows up in every story
book after, pretty much,
except for book 4. Milo doesn't show up in book 4 for good purposes. Actually, he also doesn't show up in book 5 either. So I just kind of kicked myself in the teeth by saying that. But regardless, Milo was supposed to be that staple character that everybody knows. He was supposed to be the face of the whole thing. At this point now, I have absolutely no clue who the face of the Aether Universe would be if I put one there.
Like, no, there's too many characters.
Yeah, it's way too much going on. There's no like top character. I just saw somebody ride down the street in a lawnmower. I'm confused. Anyway, yeah, there's no top character. There's not like, you can't just be like, who's the strongest in the Aether Universe and just go from there, put them in the front, in the limelight. Even with the portrait that I'm working on, like, I don't know who to put in the front.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a problem there.
I mean, I would say it's a problem, but I mean, I'm not really that concerned about it. More likely than not, the Aether's going there, so
yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was going to suggest, maybe.
Yeah, considering that, Aether Universe. But like, the Aether isn't like the most important character in the whole thing. Like, she's the
start of it.
She's the start of it, but like, as far as like characters that you follow, like, you need to know about the Aether, but you don't necessarily like. I'm gonna back off of that one for a second. But Tawnie, man. She was.
What inspired Tawnie for you?
Ooh, that's a good question. All right. So the inspiration for a strong female character was my inspiration for Tawnie. I got tired of seeing the fact that like other brands were, as far as like who goes up front, as far as like top bill actors and characters and stories, like who are we talking about when we talk about the person that is leading the charge? And any time in any other brand that you look at, is always like there's a male character in charge. And like you think about like Batman. There's a whole Batwoman out there that's doing a whole lot more than Batman, but for whatever reason, Batman is always the top of discussion. There's a Supergirl. Superman is always in front of her though.
Yeah.
There's a female Green Lantern. We don't even talk about her. There's Captain Marvel. Who Marvel managed to give her a whole movie, but when it came time to get the job done, which she did the job in the comic book, she didn't in the movie, and only got a cumulative 30 seconds in the whole movie. Yeah. Like, what were you guys leading up to? So my inspiration, I just wanted to have a strong, badass female lead that women can look up to. So Tawnie, like, as far as like everything that pushes the spectrum, like everything that kind of bends reality, as far as like the perceived thing of like, there's like a perception of beauty that we follow in America. There's like a perception of like the top race that we talk about in America. But like, if you're like just basing everything on like a black and white scale or a 1 to 10 scale or Libra scale or whatever you want to call it, Tawnie breaks every rule in that whole category.
Yeah.
Like, she's a female lead, for one thing. She's not a white woman. She's mixed, which makes it even more controversial depending on who you're talking to. And she's not that conventional look of beauty that most Americans would see, I guess to say. So all of those things kind of built into my inspiration of Tawnie Sims.
I like that. So how'd she get her start in the controversy train?
So with that, in order to answer that question, like, you have to know her backstory, like her real backstory. It's like you can imagine like the reason why I wrote the Gem State Siege. Like, people think that the Gem State Siege was written in first person from Milo's point of view by accident. Like, I literally wrote the Gem State Siege so that, because like, if you think about it, right, here's a little 5-year-old boy recounting the story of what happened to him and his mom 20 years after the fact.
Yeah.
21 years after the fact rather. But this stuff happened to him, and he's recounting his story. But if you think about it, like, he don't know what's going on. He doesn't really know anything about his mom. Nobody else that raised him after what happened there, nobody else knows about her. So like he's trying to like bring back all of these memories of like what happened to her, like, but he doesn't necessarily have a clue of what her background is, and neither does anybody else. So her start in all of it, getting into the conspiracy of all of those other things, she started in those things because of the Arcane Prophecy.
So she's just started it before the series, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that she had a whole podcast.
So it wasn't a podcast. It was actually like a YouTube channel. But all of that will be explained in the upcoming Arcane and Prophecy book.
I thought that I had tricked you.
Yeah. But yeah, all of that will be explained in that book. Tawnie got started with the what we call the Observer Chronicles. Mm-hmm. She created a show that was briefly discussed, briefly talked about in book one, the Gem State Siege. She talked about it a little bit, but not really in great detail because, as once again, it was told from the perspective of a 5-year-old boy who's now a grown man recounting the story. But she discovered the prophecy well before all of that stuff happened, and which is the reason why all that stuff happened.
Oh, that makes sense.
So that's how she got her start.
All right. So since Tawnie is such a mysterious character, and because you're the writer, without unveiling too much, what are 5 fun facts that we haven't already heard about in the book?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You said I was allowed to ask anything.
Oh God. Wow. Yo, I don't.
You said I was allowed to ask anything, and that you would have to answer.
And I told you that you might not like all the answers, but
you got to give me an answer.
You know, can I actually see if I got anything written down for that? Because okay. I do. She was born to a Caucasian mother, French mother, and half Mexican, half black father. So that's one.
Where was she born?
If I had to come up with something, I would say that she was probably born somewhere like New York or like New Jersey or something, like, you know, northeast.
I thought that you would have said where the book was located.
No. Because remember, she did a lot of traveling with Milo Sim Sr., her husband.
True.
As well as just following him for his job or whatnot. And she's also a biochemist. Also, another fun fact that I could have said, she's a biochemist that that wasn't necessarily talked about in the first book. This wasn't something that Milo really remembered, because that's not how she made her money when he came along. But she is a biochemist. I don't. All
right, I'll settle for 3.
All right.
What's your favorite scene of Tawnie's?
My favorite scene of Tawnie. All right. So there is a scene in the Gem State Siege. Oh, let me back up, because that probably sounds real bad in the thing. There's a scene in the Gem State Siege where where Tawnie is being released from the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and like Milo is telling the story about how he felt when he saw her for the first time, and that he can like see the look on her face after she killed that one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was a switch happening in that scene, like where mentally she was going into a different place, and I detailed it to the best of my abilities, and I'm hoping that everybody felt it when they read it. But like you can just tell the difference of like this character from the beginning of like she was like kind of dainty and kind of weak, meekish.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was soft spoken at the beginning, but then like there was this mental shift where she became something completely different. And I'm hoping that scene is being like, I hope it actually speaks to people the way that I intended it to. But that's like one of my favorite scenes, and it happened more than once in the book, but I think it was just that one that kind of took it for me, because like I'm just like imagining a little kid sitting in the back seat, and he hadn't even said anything to his mom, but like she just looks at him, and like he could just see the life just fade from her eyes, and she's wide awake, still alive and everything. But like it was just that scene that kind of did it for me, that it kind of gave me goosebumps, just thinking about it, because like only I know where this character goes. So like everything just kind of starts at that one moment, and then from that, like at that situation, you can see her go into the opposite direction in the story.
That answer is acceptable. Who would you say Tawnie's 3 most influential people are? So
we got to start with TK to Don. Absolutely had to start with TK to Don. He's a motivational speaker in the Aether Universe. He was alive during the Arcane Calamity era, and his career was just starting out when Tawnie passed, and like they were around the same age, so it's like she knew who he was. They were just both like young kids doing what they're trying to do or whatever in their mid-20s or whatnot. But definitely him. Influential people, most influential. I would definitely say man, I can't even answer this without really like giving too much away, because like I don't want people to know that
the book's been out for multiple years.
Yeah, but it's still some connections that, to like, if I answer this, there's still some connections to be made, and like future books. So I can't. I don't want to. All right. So I just say TK to Dawn. She did have a relationship with Daniel Gordon, Ricochet, which that didn't, as short as the time that they had together, as short as it was, they had a whirlwind of a romance, as well as Tori and Kane. At some point, her and Tori and Kane actually did get along.
Well, you weren't very much giving me the answers that I was hoping for.
What are the answers that you were hoping for? Actually, go ahead and
spoiler answers.
All right.
No.
Go.
No.
Say what you thought the answer to the last question would be, and if it's too abrupt and too spoilery, then I'll go ahead and censor it. Go ahead.
No.
No. Go.
No, because I don't know who her top influential people would be.
All right, but you had something in your mind that you wanted me to say that I didn't. So well, either that question or the question beforehand, you got something.
You said that there were connections that you couldn't necessarily form because they were going to be in future books. And
did you really think I was going to reveal the big secret?
I sure did.
I can't reveal the big secret. That's not the thing. I can't talk about that.
I need to know.
We can't talk about that one. If any, like all the rest of them,
kind of secrets with this household.
I can tell you like some of the other stuff, but I can't necessarily go into that. Like if you wanted to like talk about her relationship with her husband, then like
sure,
we
let's
could go
do
there.
That.
Is there anything in particular that you wanted to know about as far as that goes?
What caused him to take the Pyro Stone that he decided to just up and leave and all that? They must have a pretty rocky relationship.
I think my man just really didn't want. He really thought that, or he had some kind of clue of what was going on with Jacob Maxwell, and he didn't want to see it come to fruition. So he was like, all right, if I take this, then that kind of thwarts their plan a little bit.
Stupid.
But I think in a way he did kind of know about the prophecy in a sense. Like I think everybody kind of knew in a general gist of the prophecy, but nobody really had any concrete evidence or information about it. But they knew about this Pyro Stone. So I think that's what made him take it, because he was like, all right, I know this is bad. I don't know what's bad about it. I just know that him having it and him having it down here in this secret location in the middle of the woods, like nothing can go good with this. So he's like extracting power from it. Like nothing can go good with this. So I'm just going to take it. So he did.
All right. Well, I'll save you from this one.
Which one?
This topic.
Oh, I love this topic. I'm enjoying this conversation, even though you scared to ask the questions. I
just don't want to give spoilers if you don't want to give spoilers.
Well, I mean, there ain't too much that can be spoiled.
That's what I'm curious about, though.
About
future Tawnie.
Future Tawnie. So you want to know?
Love, we're gonna. You want to know
if Tawnie lives or dies. You want to know all of that. You want to know if she really did, what happened at the end,
yes.
all those things. You want to know all that. And
I want the post-credit scene.
You want the post-credit scene. So there was a post-credit scene in the.
I need more.
You need. There was a post-credit scene. Like you had to see it. Like there was Torian Kane, he came to get the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So like there was a post credit scene, like kind of like a post credit. It happened after the fact. He came to pick up the kid. He found the Pyro Stone, and he took the Pyro Stone and the kid. So like there was.
It doesn't count.
And all right, so what about the fact that the Observer Chronicles raised a whole militia of people who wanted to fight against the corruption in the system?
Yes, go into that.
That sounds like more of a. Then we had that as a. Who started the Observers?
Oh, I don't know.
Who created the Observers on a different topic? Yeah.
I got stuck on Tawnie.
You got stuck on Tawnie. That's fine. So yeah, her Tawnie's movement actually did start a actual movement. Like she started off making videos to enlighten people on the mysteries of what's going on behind the scenes, like the things that the government was lying about, things that she thought would be necessary for people to know. Kind of like if, like somebody was like, there was a guy back in the day who I kind of took the inspiration from, and he was like doing all of these little different conspiracy things. He was going around the world and document things that shouldn't be real or things that they tell us aren't real. Like he wanted to go into Area 51 at one point, but didn't realize that somebody would probably kill his ass once he stepped close to the gate. But yeah, there was just a lot of that going on. Like Tawnie wanted people to know things that they should know. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, her putting that stuff out there and how she exposed Jacob Maxwell at the end of the book, it kind of inspired a movement behind the scenes called the Observers. Mm-hmm. And there's the Observers is a group of radical anarchists who for the most part, the only thing they want to do is expose the truth. Mm-hmm. They want to know who killed Tawnie or why Tawnie was killed, what inspired the situation that killed Tawnie, like why did this happen, where did this object come from, where the fuck is Milo? Like things of that nature. Like we know that because the news said that there was one survivor. Yeah. But for whatever reason, they got this one survivor who never, he's for whatever reason, he disappeared. Mm-hmm. And he was a 5-year-old boy. So where the fuck did he go? So, things like that kind of shaped up a whole militia of people who wanted to know the truth in the Aether Universe.
All right. So we won't give you too many spoilers for the few of you that may not have read the book or any of the future books. We don't want to ruin the experience for you guys as much as I secretly want to know.
Oh, yeah. I got that on lock. I'm good on that.
But we will wrap it up here.
We will wrap it up here. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell. And you want to stay notified on everything that we have going on, be sure to go to ajmcmullen.com and sign up for our newsletter. And you want to be a part of that newsletter because I will be sending out the link to the Arcane and Calamity or the Arcane and Prophecy book that is coming out on January 17th, 2023. As well as information about book 4 when we decide to release that as well. So with that being said, guys, this has been the Aether Universe Podcast. My name is AJ, and here with me as always is
Aly.
And we will see you guys on the next week. Always remember that there is no life without balance. See, I almost said it again. Almost did it.
I know. I was prepared.
See y'all next week.
For more information on AJ McMullen and the Aether Universe, please visit ajmcmullen.com.